one bite, you know the rules. At one bite, you know the rules.
What's going on, dudes and dudettes? Yes, National Signing Day, or early National Signing Day for college football. It's been really crazy so far. Travis Hunter, who's considered the #1 player, he plays both wide receiver or cornerback, but he could be a 5-star in either position, which is crazy. But just so far, this whole entire time, he was mostly committed to Florida State. Then there was some rumblings that he might not be going there, and then Deion Sanders made a prediction last night saying that his team was going to shock the world, or his school was going to shock the world, and of course they did. He decided to go to I think it's Division II HBCU school, which is more for like a black college, and in Jacksonville State. So it's still there in Florida, but obviously Deion Sanders has a lot more pull, probably guaranteed him a lot more money. So it's pretty crazy how college football has become essentially a free agency, where these guys are getting these crazy amounts of money just to be able to be committed to a school. And if you can't even get, when you're a coach, you can't even get in the ear of some of these guys, because they say, well, if you're not going to offer this amount of money for me while I'm playing there, then I'm not going to even consider you guys. So it's crazy. Yeah, right now I'm in the middle of some stuff. So when it comes to USC, they made some pretty good signings so far. A lot of guys we already knew about. One that was out of the blue that they kind of went after early this week, but they were able to get him. And as of rankings throughout the country, they're not really high, USC's ranking, but they are expected to get a lot of guys, whether it's tomorrow, Friday, even early February as well. So not really worried about the number rankings overall, just hoping that USC can get the correct guys. And from what I hear too, Lincoln Riley said they are going to push a lot in the transfer portal as well, which has a lot of great players. So not too shabby, not too mad about that. But yes, so as of the first guys that they kind of already signed, Raleek Brown, the running back from Mater Dei, the 5-star player, the highest so far that they've signed. He's already signed, which is pretty cool. They also got a 4-star cornerback from Las Vegas in Fabian Ross. He's been saying he wants to go to USC for the longest time, but he's finally one of these guys that stuck with his commitment fully, which I was definitely happy about, because he is a very talented dude. Pretty big dude already in his senior year in high school, so hopefully he can turn into an NFL player in a couple years. And then also a guy who the guy that they offered pretty late from Georgia was Garrison Madden. He's a linebacker, but he's considered one of the fastest linebackers in the country as a senior. So to have a guy like that who's not only very fast, but could still play the position very well as a linebacker, it's pretty cool. So definitely glad he is on the team as well. They also got the defensive end, Devin Thompkins from Northern California. He was a 3-star recruit, so I thought they were probably going to shy away from him, but he is a freak athlete. He's had 6'7" or 6'6", something like that, playing that position. So he has a body to fill out, but they definitely believe he can turn into something really good. So I guess that's why they ended up keeping that recruitment. Sorry, I took a shower, so my hair is all flat. And then they also got a punter from Australia again, in Atticus Bertrams, yeah, something like that. But yeah, once again, they go down there, get another kicker. This guy was committed a while too, so luckily he stayed. And we'll see how they do the next couple days. Hopefully we'll have another video by Friday, and if not, then you'll probably see it next week if they did sign anybody or not. But yeah, it's been really cool so far watching all this stuff. And then yes, we did find out some news that the center Brett Nielsen was going to be returning to USC. I kind of didn't like that, just because to me he's been so inconsistent, even though he was considered a very talented player. I always thought Justin Dedich behind him, the second string, was way better, but I guess we'll have to see what happens with that situation. But USC did lose a handful of players as well. They lost their kicker in Parker Lewis, who's from Arizona. It's too bad. He was pretty good, and then for some reason he was in and out of the team this year. But well, good luck to him. We'll see what his future holds. Then they also lost running back Keenan Christensen, which I did a story on, that he's going through some legal stuff with USC about him getting into an altercation with another student over his girlfriend or something like that. It was a lot of, young dumb stuff, and yet they're still suspending him not only for this season but next season as well. So I kind of already knew he was going to be one of the guys to transfer out already, so it's not surprising. So good luck to him. It's just dumb what USC is doing to him. And then another player, offensive lineman Liam Douglas, another guy who's just been around but never really developed. So good luck to him, and we'll see what his future holds. Then they also got a commitment a couple days ago from a TCU defensive tackle, in Earl Barquet. He was a 3-star guy in high school when he was there, but after a couple years, I'm pretty sure he's built up into at least a 4-star type of player. He looks like a pretty big dude, especially for the defensive tackle position, and TCU has always been known for defensive players. So hopefully this is a good guy, and hopefully it's not like an Ishmael Sopsher where, last year USC gets him in the transfer portal from Alabama. He was a 5-star defensive tackle, and sadly he doesn't get to play for USC because he has blood clots, and took him pretty much the whole season to get back from that. But if Sopsher is back along with this guy and nothing injury-wise happens, they could have a pretty awesome defensive tackle lineup. So definitely looking forward to that. Then, yes, the Chargers' Keenan Allen was taken off the COVID list, which is nice, so he will be available this Thursday against the Chiefs. But sadly, their starting left tackle and rookie Rashawn Slater for the Chargers was recently put on the list a couple days ago. It doesn't really look like he's going to be able to play, which sucks. But a couple of Chiefs players as well are on the list, so maybe they'll be even matched, but still, you rather have your team full strength, especially for a big game like that. Then found out the other day that, according to multiple reports in the NBA, that 7 teams are interested in trading for a guy like Talen Horton-Tucker. It's one of the younger guys on the Lakers roster, but sadly, we did hear that he wasn't going to be playing in tonight's game against the Mavericks because he did get on the COVID list as well. So we'll see how long he's going to be out, at least up to 10 days, most likely. But then we also found out that a couple more players this morning were put on the list, in Dwight Howard and Malik Monk. But hopefully it hasn't spread as of right now. Haven't heard anything. So as of right now, the game against Dallas is going on, and Dallas is missing one of their best players in Luka Doncic. So the Lakers should get this victory even while they're missing a couple of players. But yes, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully they do get that, and maybe Anthony Davis is returning from that knee soreness, so that should help them out a lot as well. Sorry, people walking by, but yes, there was an article coming out saying that there was a rumor that the Lakers have been looking to trade Russell Westbrook, that they've talked about it in-house. It wasn't officially said if it was or not, but not surprised because the Lakers front office usually always looks to trade anybody. But even ESPN this morning was talking about the Lakers wanting to trade Russell Westbrook or Anthony Davis, just because Anthony Davis is not as good as advertised and is not the generational type of player to take over the Lakers after LeBron. So, I mean, it could be very interesting to see if they would trade either of those guys. I mean, you could maybe trade Anthony Davis for Damian Lillard, but you'd have to trade Westbrook too because that's the same position. And I don't know who you would get for that as well, because Westbrook is owed a lot of money, like $40-something million this year and next year. So I don't know. Any team is willing to trade for that, but you never know. Could be a desperate team out there. But yeah, it's very crazy stuff going on. Honestly, I didn't mind. I wasn't afraid or upset that they said Anthony Davis. I kind of thought about it and kind of made a little bit of sense, but you know, hopefully he is back to being healthy, but that usually means he's not. Then, yes, Christian Reeves, a 7'1" center in high school right now. He actually, right before the Duke game last night, he committed to Duke. He's considered a 3-star guy, but very talented dude. I forget if he is friends with a guy who's gonna be on the roster next season or the season after for Duke, and he says that's the reason why he chose Duke, to be able to play with him together on the team. But yeah, it was pretty nice news, a nice addition for Jon Scheyer's class next year, which is great. But then speaking of that Duke game, they did play South Carolina State, and they picked up the victory pretty easily, 103-68. It was never really in doubt. They kind of blew the team out of the water, and AJ Griffin, the freshman, even though coming off the bench and playing against a crappy team, he did score a career high 19 points, and he says he's feeling better than ever, so hopefully he can crack the starting rotation soon and maybe be a big time player for them later in the season when it comes down to March Madness. But yes, good things coming from Duke. It's definitely glad to see that last night happen. And then speaking of ex-Duke players, Jason Tatum the other day for the Celtics, he scored a season high 42 points. Not his career high in the NBA, but so far this season it's the most points he scored. And I believe that was a victory against Milwaukee. I could be wrong. I know they beat Milwaukee pretty recently, but yeah, pretty nice performance by him. Definitely cool to see. Just don't do it against my LA Lakers, Jason Tatum. Then ending off with some pretty sad news, but Leonard Williams, an ex-USC defensive lineman, during the game against the Chargers, he went out with an injury, didn't really return, but found out that he has a pretty significant elbow injury that could end his season, which sucks for him and the Giants. And I forget how many years he signed. I forget if it was a 1-year pretty big deal or a couple-year deal, but I know I've always liked the idea of him playing for the Chargers, so maybe this gives him some time to rest before coming to LA. But if not, then yeah, good luck to him getting more healthy for the rest of his career. Obviously an ex-Trojan, so gotta send him some positive vibes. And yes, hopefully USC does make a couple more moves. I know the top guy that they're really waiting for, Damani Jackson, is gonna be committing. I think it's Friday, and you know, luckily USC was able to keep Dante Williams, which was the main reason why Jackson wanted to come to USC. So hopefully that does help him in the end against Alabama. A little victory over the great Alabama. And yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. Bye down.